gliders, also known as sailplanes, are a kind of aircraft that differ from the rest by their ability to fly great distances without the need of an engine or propulsion of any kind, even gaining altitude during their flight. But how is this possible? Personally, gliders are my favorite aircraft because they don't need an engine to fly, and because of the long, impressive wingspan they have. But their long wings have a reason to be. Let's start with the basics. We know that an airplane can fly or glide without an engine, but in the process it will gradually lose altitude, and depending on its weight, aerodynamics and other physical facts, it can go down faster. This happens to every airplane, regardless whether they are gliders or not. Without an engine, it is possible to fly for some distance and land as long as a constant speed and descent rate is maintained to be stable in flight. But the gliders are designed to take full advantage of this balance of forces. Gliders are made with lightweight materials, and the weight is distributed at strategic points in an efficient manner to improve air penetration. And the configuration of their wings allow them to have more lift with less aerodynamic drag. As a result, their glide ratio is one of the most efficient among all airplanes. The glide ratio is the distance that the aircraft can travel in respect to the lost altitude. For example, a Cessna 172 has a glide ratio of 9 or 9 to 1, which means that if its engine stops, it can fly from 100 meters of height for about 900 horizontal meters. In modern gliders, this gliding ratio can be between 40 to 1 to 70 to 1, which means that if a glider has a 50 to 1 glide ratio, then it could fly for 50 kilometers if it starts flying from 1 kilometer high, making it capable of covering long distances in this way. Why long and thin wings? The thin wings generate less aerodynamic drag than the common wings that are seen in self-propelled airplanes. In this way, the glider can pass through the air with less difficulty, obtaining the same lift and losing less speed than other airplanes. Another factor that helps for better aerodynamics is the design of the fuselage, making everything as smooth, thin and aerodynamic as possible, which is why the pilot enters the cockpit in much the same way as a Formula 1 driver in his car, almost lying down. The wings are also measured by aspect ratio. Glider wings have a high aspect ratio, and war airplane wings have a low aspect ratio. War or aerobatic aircraft wings generate more induced drag than the thin wings of gliders, but because they are short wings, they are more maneuverable. Maneuverability is a priority in warplanes rather than fuel efficiency. In the case of the gliders, it is not necessary to make quick maneuvers, so the priority is given to efficiency, sacrificing maneuverability. Flight instruments. Gliders are equipped with the basic instruments that can be found on any other aircraft, except for the flight instruments associated with the use of an engine. The most used and necessary instruments are the anemometer, altimeter, variometer, and compass. You can also find a turn coordinator, sometimes an accelerometer, and tools like a radio and a GPS.